right, controversial comments about Campbell's soup. The comments allegedly made by a company executive. Here's ABC's Sophie Flay.
Campbell's.
Good.
This morning, Campbell's Soup is denying claims about its products, allegedly made by an executive in a recorded conversation. The person in the recording is also heard belittling Campbell's customers during an expletive-filled rant.
We have that's for poor people. Who buys our I don't buy Campbell's products barely anymore. It's unhealthy. Now that I know what the in it, I eat bioengineered meat. I don't want to eat a piece of chicken that came from a 3D printer.
The recording is allegedly from a conversation that's now part of a lawsuit filed by Robert Garza, a cybersecurity analyst for Campbell's, who claims he was fired after reporting the alleged remarks, which he says also included racist comments about company employees.
Pure evil, a Campbell's Soup executive goes on tirade disturbing rant about how their food is pig slop for poor people. Everything wrong with capitalism. Hey guys, it's me here, Comrade Lavender, and I'm back with another deep dive YouTube video topic today. I wanted to talk about the disturbing comments made by the vice president of Campbell's. So let's get started into this YouTube topic at hand.
If you eat Campbell's soups, I'm going to need you to stop immediately because a Campbell's Soup executive, aka Martin Bally, he was placed on leave after a lawsuit claimed that he was recorded calling the company's food, quote, shit for poor people and also making some racist remarks.
A $1 million executive of a $9 billion company won't consume his own company's products because of how poor quality ingredients they are. Yet he has no problem selling those low-quality products to people who can't afford other options. The lawsuit alleges Campbell's Soup vice president made racist comments in a rant and said its food is made for poor people. Robert Garza, who filed the lawsuit last week in Michigan, shared with a Detroit TV station excerpts of an audio recording he allegedly made of a meeting with the vice president. A former employee of the Campbell's Co. has sued the Camden-based food giant, alleging he was fired for being a whistleblower.
He has no filter.
Bally, along with another supervisor and Campbell's Soup Company, named in a lawsuit filed Thursday. The suit claiming Bally made racist remarks, admits to coming to work high, and Garza fired for coming forward.
What do you think about the things that he was saying?
Oh, just pure disgust.
Garza says he usually worked remotely for Campbell's headquarters based in Camden, New Jersey. But thinking he'd be discussing his salary with Bally, he says the recording taken in person at a restaurant.
Millions on another thing. They couldn't think for the I'm like, you dumb
Garza says he felt sick after the rant, deciding to go to his direct supervisor in January, keeping the recordings to himself.
He had never had any disciplinary action. They had never written him up for poor work performance.
Garza says no one at Campbell's ever followed up, and it's taken him 10 months to find a new job, calling the way the canned soup company handled it simply terrible.
And reporting that a company vice president had made racist comments about coworkers and disparaged Campbell's products. Robert Garza, who worked as a cybersecurity analyst for the company, alleged in the lawsuit filed last week in Michigan that Martin Bally, a vice president and chief information security officer, made the comments during a November 2024 meeting that the complaint said was intended for a discussion of Garza's salary. Bally made several racist comments about Indian workers at the company, the complaint said. Bally also told Garza that Campbell's products were highly processed food for poor people, according to the lawsuit pulling a big pharma by feeding the community knowingly unhealthy food and profits over lives. In an interview Garza did last week with WDIV, an NBC affiliate in Detroit, he said that he secretly recorded audio of the meeting, which occurred at a restaurant. The TV broadcast played some portions of the recording. The audio recording is not mentioned in the lawsuit. It is legal in Michigan for one party in a conversation to make a recording without the consent of the other party. In recorded excerpts included in the TV report, the person in the recording, alleged to be Bally, says, "We have shit for fucking poor people." The speaker then acknowledges rarely buying Campbell's products, saying they are unhealthy but the food slop is perfectly okay for poor people. The voice says that Campbell's uses bioengineered meat. "I don't want to eat a piece of chicken that came from a 3D printer." The speaker then goes on to make racist comments about coworkers. Garza, who started with the company in September 2024, told the TV station he decided to record the conversation, which reportedly lasted more than an hour, because he had an instinct that something wasn't right with Martin. The lawsuit says that Bally also disclosed to plaintiff that he often appeared at work high from marijuana edibles. The lawsuit says that Garza reported to his manager on Jan. 10, 2025, what Bally allegedly said during the November meeting. The complaint said the manager did not encourage Garza to report the incident to Human Resources and did not provide any direction on how to proceed. On Jan. 30, according to the complaint, Garza was abruptly fired and terminated from employment. The complaint alleges that Garza was fired and terminated in retaliation for complaining about defendant Bally's racist behavior and being a whistleblower. Garza is seeking compensation for damages and related costs.
The cereal category has always been quite affordable, and it tends to be a great destination when consumers are under pressure. So some of the things that we're doing is first messaging. We got to reach the consumer where they are. So we're advertising about cereal for dinner. If you think about the cost of cereal for a family versus what they might otherwise do, that's going to be much more affordable. But in general, the cereal category is a place that a lot of folks might come to because the price of a bowl of cereal with milk and with fruit is less than $1. So you can imagine why a consumer under pressure might find that to be a good place to go.
Right. I'm all for innovation and marketing, but the idea of having cereal for dinner, is there the potential for that to land the wrong way?
We don't think so. In fact, it's landing really well right now, Carl.
These are the conversations millionaires, billionaires, CEOs, the capitalist pigs have on a regular basis. This is not the first time a company has been caught wishing the worst on the working class. Tobacco companies fueled America's addiction to processed foods. Tobacco companies may have had a hand in the high amount of processed food in the U.S. food supply. A new study found that food brands like Cheez Whiz, Kraft, and Shake and Bake were purchased by tobacco companies between 1980 and 2001. These companies primarily produce processed foods that are high in salt, fat, and/or sugar and may have addictive properties.